about fake news these days on social media and other places, but how do you know how to spot it? If you don't know, we've got some help for you. Here with more on their fake news survival guide is the Seattle Public Library's Zhang. Welcome. How are you?
Very good. Thank you so much for having me.
Big problem. I mean, we joke about fake news, blah, blah, blah. Sorry, I'm having trouble with my pillow. There we go. But this is enormous. This is an enormous problem, and the library decided to tackle it because of that, correct?
Correct, yeah. During the 2016 election cycle in particular, our patrons were asking us a lot about what they could trust and what they heard in the news, and just fact-checking news stories. And so we felt like we had to create a class to address this need. And so far, the response has been overwhelmingly positive, and this has remained a relevant topic.
It probably will
yes.
for a while. So where do you find that people get their news from these days, the folks who come to the classes?
Right. So in my class, I always do a poll, kind of a show of hands, and most of them actually get it from online, which makes sense because in our class, we focus on kind of social media and online news. But according to Pew Research Center, still the majority of people get their news from the TV news. So about 57%, followed by online, and then print, and then radio.
And depending on where you're getting your news, you may be living in entirely different informational universes.
That's right.
Which is always fascinating to me. So what are some examples of fake news?
Well, probably a recent example that I could point to was this meme that went around of Michael Bennett with an American flag on fire, and that's totally fake, but it got, spread all over the place. Another news story, just to kind of give a ridiculous example, last year there was a news story about a college student murdering her roommate because she got too many Candy Crush invites or requests. A lot of fake news is political, just because that's typically what generates clicks.
Right.
And, clicks on your web page is what generates ad revenue. So a lot of this is monetary and money-based. Yeah.
All right, so what are we looking at right here?
So this is a fake news website, and this is from the front page, I believe, of abcnews.com.co. And I talk about this in my fake news class. And I talk about how if something ends in .co, it can maybe raise a red flag.
So they want you to think this is ABC News.
Exactly.
But it is not.
It is not. And ABC News is well established. They have their own website, of course. And the interesting thing about .co is that .co was only opened up to the rest of the world. It's actually a country code for Colombia, but it was opened up to the rest of the world. Anyone can register a .co since 2010.
So you have no idea where this is coming from.
Exactly. And so if it has a .co, it might raise a few red flags, and you want to double check it.
One of the things that seems so concerning is, we all remember like the old Inquirer articles about, some child survived on frozen tater tots on the moon for 2 days or whatever, and it's ridiculous and not true. But now there's a truth, lie, truth, lie. There are things that are embedded in otherwise sort of believable articles that look like they should be news articles. So how do you deal with this in your classes? How deeply do you delve with people to try to get them to think twice about what they're looking at?
Right. A lot of the class goes over kind of information literacy and just critical thinking skills. How to check sources. Don't just take, don't just read the article and accept everything as fact. Check the source. What is this news organization reputable? Who is the author of this article? What other articles have they written? Just dig a little deeper and have a critical eye on what you're actually reading.
And if it's written in a way to make you angry, who would want to do that and what for? And ask a few more questions.
Exactly.
Sue, are you going to put something else up on the screen from the class? Okay, here it is. Let's talk about this one.
Right, that was that website that I mentioned earlier. And recently it got taken down actually, but what I do in the class is I kind of do a side-by-side comparison. You'll see that the fake news URL is very similar to the real news
Right.
real ABC News URL. Even the logo says ABC News, and it looks very similar. And the layout looks just like a news website. And so to someone who's not experienced with this, they might think it's just ABC News. It's just something that they can trust.
It's just a shame that people have to work this hard just to try to sort out what's,
Right.
disinformation, not just fake news, but, an effort to keep you uninformed about the things you need to know about. So how do we get involved in a class?
Right. So the next class is available is next Thursday, the 19th, from 6 to 7:45 p.m. at the Ballard Library. And so please give the Ballard Library a call. You could also call our quick information line at 206-386-4636, and they'll route you to the Ballard branch. And if people cannot get to the class, they can check out our website, spl.org. We have a fake news resource list.
Great. And can I go up to the librarian if I'm in the library and say, help me?
Of course. You can drop by, ask us any question. We can fact check on the spot.
You guys rock. The library just rocks. Thank you so much. Come back and let's talk about this some more, because this is going to be an ongoing issue. If you'd like to sign up for the Seattle Public Library's free class on fake news, head to New Day's website. We'll have a link there. Make it very easy for you to sign up, and we'll be right back.